All right, good people. It's February, which means Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month to Black people, to Black wrestlers, to Black fans. And we're gonna get into some Black wrestling today. Um,
Come on, come on.
we happy to be Black up in here.
No cap.
But I got
A
some
fact
questions for
now.
y'all. I got some questions for y'all. So what do we think about the state of Black wrestlers today? And have we seen a shift in how Black wrestlers and Black fans have been received in the industry?
I would
Second,
say,
like I said, Second
I would
City.
say
Go ahead.
this. I would say the state of Black wrestling has gotten better from what it was in the past. Um, from the not being recognized, not being able to achieve, not being able to grow within the company. I feel as if Black professional wrestlers have been able to get a lot more love in today's society rather than in the past. Man, we're the staple, and they're starting to understand that our culture affects a lot of sports, a lot of entertainment, a lot of society, and that just don't stop in wrestling either. And now wrestling as a whole, not just any particular company, but wrestling as a whole is now understanding that, as we can see on social media and everything else that comes along with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think where we are today, being able to see so many Black wrestlers, and seeing so many more Black wrestlers in developmental, it's only a matter of time before I feel like we have like a true like face of the company that's a Black person. I think the closest we've gotten is probably Bianca Belair. Um,
Huh?
I think I think as far as like,
Huh?
What about Dwayne?
well, yes, Dwayne. Listen, I'm not one of those people that take away The Rock's blackness, so that's on me. That's on me. The Rock was definitely one of the faces of the company, so shout out to The Rock. And
Defense.
all his contributions to wrestling, because we clearly see the ways in which he interacts with the crowd, the way he does his promos, like truly one of a kind. So that's on me. That's on me. Dwayne, if you listening, and I know you are, that's my bad. That's my bad, brother. Um, but I think for me, I brought up Bianca Belair because that was um truly like a shift for me as a Black woman wrestling fan. We've had incredible Black women before her, right? And Naomi, Alicia Fox,
Sure. Yep.
Jazz, Jacqueline.
Yep.
Um, but to see Bianca be so showcased in such a Black way, to see somebody with this super long, exaggerated braid, having gear that says like Black history in the making, like just being just in your face Black has been such a shift for me, for women, for Black women, and as a Black woman, as a wrestling fan. Um, so to see her like be able to wrestle, to main event WrestleMania, to be on a game cover, like that's clearly she's had people that's paved the way before her, but to see how she's been able to take that and run with it, and what we'll see in the future, what we have, in Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, Jada Parker, so Ruka, like I think sky's the limit.
Shout out to EST.
Come on now.
Yeah, well, wrestling's black now. Just wrestling just had to take its time and get to like where the NBA is and where the NFL, even though it's not a real sport, we know that, but where the NBA is majority black, NFL is majority black. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff. as the times progress, it's when it upgrades. And even in WWA, there was a time this year in 2026 where all the singles champions were black. I'm still the champion, the world champion in the WWA as a black man. But I don't I do think a lot of that plays off the fact that for black people and athletes, wrestling ain't a lot of black people's first priorities. And it wasn't easy. It's like wasn't easily accessible. Even when I first got into wrestling, it wasn't like you couldn't just find wrestling to get into. You know what I'm saying? It's either you thought, man, I gotta figure out how to get to WWE or nothing. Now there's like a plethora of indie places, and now they got the NIL and all that, and people are like, hey, if this college stuff, whatever sports I'm doing don't work out, hey, I can always go here. And shout out to Mark Henry because he the reason Bianca and Jade and all them are in the business right now. So shout out to Mark Henry, another black man, who helped put
Correct.
people on. But I generally think that's a lot of the reason as to why. Like it was a white dominated sport. So it looked crazy a lot of these times when you don't see a person. That's why people always said, man, Shelton Benjamin should have been a world champion. Instead of just sometimes us realizing if we being real, Shelton Benjamin was good, but you know what I'm saying? He still lacked at a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like I ain't trying to knock him, but
For sure.
like I
For
feel like
sure.
that's what it always was. You only had a select few, so we really had no choice but to root for him. We have no choice because it's all we got. Now we got a plethora. Now, listen to all the names y'all just named. So I definitely think we
Now,
in the right direction.
do you think with, you know, with where you are in the WWA right now, do you think you could have accomplished this 20 years ago if
Probably,
you were wrestling at that time and you
probably
were trying
no,
to come up as a black wrestler? Do you think you could have made that jump into being the top guy of the company?
no. It wasn't accessible. I didn't know where wrestling was. I didn't. I was 19 years old. I didn't like when I seen wrestling, all I ever seen was WWE or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever big company they had. I didn't know about no WWA or nothing like that. Never knew about it. Never knew that wrestling was ever that close to my fingertips, you know what I'm saying? So I probably would have still been just a young 19-year-old kid trying to do my thing in life.
For sure.
Yeah, man,
My,
it's great to see. It's really great to see, and like the main thing being accessibility was the difference. A lot of people don't understand that by design, protecting the business was basically we get to choose who we gonna train because this is how we make our bread. So if we don't like you, we not gonna have you in here. And there's a racial bias that plays a part in that too, but also just in general, like Finesse said, bro, you didn't go into school thinking, okay, well there's baseball, I can play basketball, I can play football. Hey, if I want to do professional wrestling, I can do that too. Nah, you had to really be so obsessed that you was looking at all them janky ass websites online. It was like, I'm gonna go to one of these. You had to really, 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 really want it, opposed to as it just being an opportunity that was just at your doorstep. So this is a big difference. This helps a lot. The NIL deal is a good representation of that. Um, I look around and I see a lot of people, and a lot of times it's black talent that people are being like, well, this got potential to be face of the company. So and so got potential to be face of the company. People don't even really know how to deal with like the amount of like talent that we have and just the amount of potential that we had to be at the top. It's good that we don't have to lie anymore and pretend that people are better than what they are. That's not no disrespect. It just is what it is. That's the truth. A lot of times we did pretend because people were black. We were just like, hey, push them to the moon. And that promo wasn't trash. I don't know. I don't know what y'all heard. You got it. That's all you got. That's all you got. You gonna pretend a little bit, but hey, it's all good. Still appreciate the ones that were there. Still appreciate the ones like the Lashleys, the New Days, the Kofi Kingstons, the Big E's, all going all the way back to like the Booker T's and the
Come
MVPs
on,
and stuff. Still appreciate them
come on, don't
100%.
forget
It's
Jacqueline
just
and Jazz. Shouts out to them.
yeah, Jacqueline and Jazz. But it's just so good to be able to just like just to look on there and be like, all right, it feels like we have enough. All right, right. In professional wrestling, for the most part, everybody ain't gonna be good, just like any other art form. It's only gonna be a handful of people that are good. So when you only have a handful of people that are trying out, what do you expect? But now we see this and it just feel different. It just feel different. And it's good to see, wrestling with people that got people in creative that are willing to embrace like the cultural aspect and keep up, at least try to keep up musically and stuff like that. Like it's really good to see that because that's what wrestling was lacking for a long time. Ricky Sosa thing was a perfect example. The fact that like we heard a theme song,
Facts.
with some 808s in it, and that was enough for us to be like, finally, like things is shifting a little bit. Now, granted, people on the indies have been playing different
Think
theme
about
songs
Trick
for a long,
Williams
bro.
too.
yeah, but
Bro,
like they've been playing
hold on,
different
I ain't
theme
gonna
songs
lie.
for a long
Hold on.
time. But
Bro, I done realized, bro, and I was talking to my dude EV all day about this on the way back from wrestling last night. I said, man,
yeah,
you know what? The times have really changed, bro. Because, bro, a person like me, who is basically the face of the company in WWA, I am the face of the company. I'm not even finna lie to myself. We know the truth. As the face of the company, I don't be out there on no. Let's go, guys. I'm the good guy. I'm out there talking crazy. I'm out there talking like I'm like exactly from where I came from. And they just eat that up, bruh. You couldn't have done that back in the day. You couldn't like you can't talk the way me and him talk. Like and even my dude Tommy Guns, you could not talk like that back in the day because it would have been frowned upon because you're not acting like a full baby face. Like, bro, I'm out there just acting like a dude that came from the streets for real, and they eat it up every day, bro. Like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
yeah. I
The
and
only
that's what
person who
and
could do
that's
that
that's what
was The
helps.
Rock.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, rock, yeah. But you could like it. That's another thing about the evolution of professional wrestling too. Is just like the authenticity and like really getting over the whole. Don't get it twisted. Good guy versus evil. That's cool and all, but at the end of the day, it's a story about a sport. It's about who wants to be the best. That really should be what it is. But yeah, it's dope to see, man. Like it feels really good to be able to know that like you're gonna turn on television and you got different flavors. Like I'm gonna be honest, New Day for me, that's not
Right.
my style at all. I wasn't into all the. I like when they got serious in that little backstage moment where they went off on each
Facts.
other. But as far as like all the bootios and all the twerking and the hip thrusts and
Like,
the
dude,
horns
hate on the
and
Yeah,
booty
but
holes
I
all you
also
want.
I
all the
get that,
bright
but
color.
I
That wasn't
also
my
I can
thing. But
appreciate.
No, I
that's
didn't
what
like
that's
the
what I'm saying.
twerking
That's
and
what I'm
stuff like
saying.
that.
That's what I'm
Don't get me
saying.
twisted,
I'm saying
but
it
like,
wasn't.
but that
I'm
cereal
saying
was
it
good.
wasn't
I
my
don't
thing.
care. I'm standing on it, Stro.
No, but I'm saying although it wasn't my thing, it's good that you have a plethora of like different types of like representation because you have so many different black stars coming in now that you got more than one option like that. Like it's good to see.
Yeah, I think New Day, as especially as faces, they were a representation of like black joy rather than like not all black wrestlers have to have their characters coming from the streets. You know what I mean? So kind of going off of what Stro was saying as far as like having a plethora, that was for me one of the first times um outside of like The Rock that I was able to see black wrestlers showcase like goofiness and like colorfulness rather than like being from the streets or
What
I don't
about
know.
King Booker?
Does that make sense?
What about King Booker?
But King Booker, he like there was that was also a different like a different representation of blackness. Is that like to me King Booker, not to be like literal, but that was like black royalty. There was some goofiness, there was some seriousness, but I wouldn't say he was like as colorful as like New Day or as goofy as New Day.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
New Day was full PBS with it.
Yeah, but you could tell like
What
they
is
was able to
PBS?
bring their PBS.
It was a television
That's
network.
a
Yeah,
kids
the
channel.
No,
network.
I
Yeah.
thought no, I thought he said PDS.
Oh,
Nah, it was very PBS,
but
very,
like,
what a wonderful time today. But we can learn it type beat. It was cool. I mean, like I like it is good that
Not they was reading Rainbow with the tights on.
not like
well,
it was cool and it was dope. It was dope that they represented that, and I'm happy that they did get to have the run that they had. But yeah, it's just I'll put it to you this way: there's a reason that, and people don't want to give him his credit because a lot of the stuff he was saying was a little wild and a little overzealous and a little aggressive. Because I know, but I get it. You want to defend your talent, and you want to put your people on, but MVP was correct when he said there wasn't much black talent that you could take serious. And that doesn't mean the New Day had to be serious, because if that's not who you are, you can't fake who you are. But there wasn't a lot of talent that you could take serious. Now I look at LFG and I look at Evolve, bro. I look at what's his name, formerly Anthony Luke, but now it's like Cam Hendricks or whatever. Like that's somebody that people ain't even really seen yet. But I look at him. I look at Jasper Troy. I look at what is it, Dark State or Deep State? Dark State, right? Dark State
Dark
with
State.
Saquon, man, and Deion Lennox. I take them seriously. I take them seriously in it. Callie Armstrong, I don't and it's
I
not
think that
even that.
also
It's not
has to do with like. No, go ahead.
do what? Oh, good. Yeah.
Oh,
No, I
I
was
was
just
gonna
saying,
say,
like
I think that also has to do with like.
Yeah, yeah, get it together.
I think that also has to do with like how black wrestlers are positioned in the company now, right? Like we are seeing, I think we're seeing a lot more black wrestlers beyond just being mid card, where there was like few and far between before. We can see the potential of so many more black wrestlers being pushed more to the top of the company. Because like I think about like, because I feel like there was a lot of like seriousness in some of the wrestlers that you mentioned, but I can see Javon Evans, who to me also represents Black Joy, and I can see him going beyond mid card. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I
Makes
wouldn't
sense.
say it's mostly the positioning. For me, I would say it was mostly like just the characterization. Because even if in the mid card we had somebody that we could take more serious back then, like that would have been enough. Not to put him on the spot, but like it was hard to depend on, like the gold standard Shelton Benjamin. That should have been a mid card character. Even if he was mid card, I should have been able to take him serious, but I couldn't because the promos just weren't there. And that's not his fault. All black promos don't rely on him. But like I said, when you only have 5 black people showing up to the tryouts, how many of them do you really think are going to be like top tier? But while everybody else is getting a million chances because it's just more accessible. It's more of them. So therefore you get to go through and really find that, you know what I mean? Like Chris Masters isn't going to hurt the overall perception of white performers. It's not possible.
Mhm.
It was their industry essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that goes with in
Yeah.
general. I think
Yeah.
like Black people have always had to um perform at a higher standard than white counterparts, and that goes for any industry. So
Go ahead, Pac.
True.
Like for me, I just want to shout out like the new wave of superstars that we just got on the main roster: the Obafemi's, Trick Williams, Javon Evans. Man, like it's just cool to see like 3 different flavors of black just come up and be able to give new life to SmackDown, from what we've had in previous years, and it's just been cool to see. Obafemi, the dominant force, man, just his interest alone is just aura, like, and to come in and just dominate whoever, however. That's cool. Trick Williams with all the flavor, man, with all the swag, all the drip he bring to it. You know what I'm saying? With the chains and the glasses and that. Come on,
Oh,
lemon peppers. Come
call
on.
1-800. Whoop that.
come, come on. It's just tough to see. And Javon Evans, I think one day he, or maybe now, he would be considered Black Kids Jeff Hardy. That's cool to see because we didn't really have nothing like that. We had to depend on who y'all said we had to depend on, and for a long time that just wasn't good enough. So shout out to them. Shout out to the NIL deal too, because boy, has that changed developmental all the way around. We are the dominance in that.
Facts.
Getting football players and different athletes from different sports, we dominate that. So for years to come now, we gonna be a heavy factor in professional wrestling. Shout out to that.
For sure. And then one more shout out, if I could, man, to Black wrestling fans. Because
Come
man,
on.
oh man, like I understood as a kid where like it was to be a wrestling fan. And it was cool as a kid, but in the later years, it just was like it to me, like it felt like it wasn't natural or normal to talk about wrestling in my population where I was in high school or in my neighborhoods because people grew out of that. But now coming into as an adult, like I would never got a chance to meet these people in this podcast if you know what I'm saying, if I didn't come across the hitmaker Willie Finesse, the WWE champion, on TikTok live one day talking wrestling with a bunch of other black folks. And granted there are other nationalities
No come.
within that
Shouts
target
out to
audience,
me.
but come on, but like there are other nationalities within that audience, but the fact that I seen that there were black people on the panel talking wrestling, I felt like my heart just like warmed up a little bit because I was like, damn, it's acceptable. It's cool. Like I seen it on social media, people being excited for wrestling that were black, people that I'd interacted with that were waiting on WrestleMania. That was excited for the night, and I'm just like, yeah, I didn't know y'all watch wrestling. I may know maybe one or two, a couple of few, but to know that damn that half of my friends on social media are in tune with wrestling and they kicking it into gear within this decade, it feel good to see, and that's because they understand that we have now knocked down the door, and we are now about to enter a different stratosphere with how we about to shake the industry.
Come
Nah, for
on.
real, man. I just want to say shout out to like any black performer. Like right now, it's a lot more sweet and it's a lot more, it's a better environment to be in. But there, like I said, the one thing we don't like talking about wrestling is the darker side of things and like a lot of issues and but the wrestling industry as a whole has been built off a lot of people's pain. There's a lot of people that sacrificed in the shadows that may not have been at the top of the card or whatever. Like, Lord knows what Junkyard Dog went through, Coco Beware and stuff like that. Like, so I just want to say, like, even though this was quote unquote all we had, because from a numbers standpoint, I'm thankful for the ones that were there. I'm thankful that R-Truth was on television every week, even if it wasn't. We didn't get to be represented in every single way. I'm glad that we did have what we had. At least you were there. And I mean that. I say that gratefully.
Preach, brother Stroke.
Come on.